Well, hello everyone. This is Lawrence making another um, compact compact disc thrift store find video. And the stack I got here are music compact disc, which I've been finding at thrift stores for like a as low as 50 cents, dollar 50 to $2. So I'm going to show what I got. I made a thrift store music CD find 8 days ago, so you can backtrack if you don't want to watch that one. I think it's about 2 or 3 videos over 8 days ago, and we're going to keep this very quick. The first one is the Bangles greatest hits. You know, girl groups reemerged back in the 80s with the Bangles and the Go-Go's, and they actually played their own instruments, where the earlier girl groups, the primary role was, singing. It was, the producers who selected the material and all that. But the Go-Go's greatest hits. I'm sure if you were around the 80s, you remember them. And another group that is noted more for their live albums, okay? And they had a reemergence in the early 80s, but in the 70s, they released a bunch of live albums and even had a big hit single. And I'm speaking of, what's the name of this group? The Jay Giles Band. And this is the hits they had in the 80s. This is really packaged really cheaply, no notes inside. This is kind of just really slapped together. And Love Stinks, Freeze Frame, Flamethrower. Of course, Centerfield was the big #1 hit. Comeback. So those are the more noted songs. This is a Joan Arbitrating live album. She kind of disappeared out of the mainstream music spotlight after the 80s. But this is a 2004 released 2004 live album. I have yet to hear it, so I'm looking forward to that. Sheryl Crow emerged in the 1990s, very big, and had a number of hit singles and hit albums. I wasn't a big fan of Sheryl Crow. I don't know. There was just something about her that, didn't draw me to her. But I got the greatest hits and the global session, and perhaps 1 or 2 more CDs, and I'm all set. I'm happy to find this next one on CD. It was a concert that was held for George Harrison at the Royal Albert Hall a year after he died. And I've got it on DVD. It was a nice gift from a friend. And now I've got it on a 2 CD set. The first CD is primarily the Indian music, which is really good. I enjoyed that. But it has a nice booklet. You can see George and Eric there. And, it was the who's who of who George Harrison was most associated with. Eric Clapton, Jeff Lynne, of course, George's son was there participating. Dion, I think that's the name, and Paul McCartney. Okay, and of course Tom Petty as well. I think the Heartbreakers too. I'm looking for the credits. His music is known worldwide because it's just lovely music, very pure music, not afraid to say what's on his mind ever. I've always felt lucky that I've always felt lucky I crossed paths with someone like that, Tom Petty. A few of the guys had not met before became great pals. Just how you like it, really. Nice people wanting to do good for George. Okay. Um, and also Prince, who kind of stole the spotlight for a moment there with his guitar solo for all things must. I mean, for um, why my guitar gently weeps. So happy to have this on CD. A Neil Young unplug. You remember back in the 1990s, uh, MTV when they were a music channel. They had all those unplugs. Eric Clapton unplug, um, REM unplugged, Nirvana unplugged, just a bunch of them. Uh, so this is Neil Young did his own unplugged thing. Dylan also did it. Um, Humble Pie Smokin'. I've actually got this on vinyl. I was not a big Humble Pie fan, but what I've heard I like. So I have it on CD now. And of course, music was really changed in the 1980s. I love the synth pop, of synthesizers and drum machines of top 10 or top 20 music of the 80s. And I felt like the 80s was the last great period in popular music, or great last decade. I think things kind of deteriorated with mainstream popular music, but the Human League had this is the greatest hits. They had two big number one songs. Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me now? And I'm only human. But glad I got this because I got to hear more than the two big hits, and this I enjoyed the CD a lot. Okay, going back further, the emergence of country rock, and one of the people who helped forge that. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold, so my voice may be go shot for a moment. Just clear it out. Okay, Graham Parsons, and this CD is put together his two albums, GP and Grievous Angel, and although he was only around for a short time, um, very influential. He was a member of the Birds for a time, and the Barbito Brothers, if I pronounced it right, and he died under very mysterious circumstances, and he helped bring Emmylou Harris to the forefront. Okay, so he died very, very young. A lot of promise there, but sadly, uh, we lost Graham Parsons very early, but his influence is still felt. A group I'm not too familiar with, except for their one big radio hit, have a little hit, Quicksilver Messenger. And this is a live album, and most of the tracks are kind of centered around I think John Lee Hooker or Muddy Waters song, okay? Um, and this got really good reviews in All Music, and I found it at the thrift store, and I checked the review in All Music, and they give a good write up. So I have yet to get into this. I listened to it in a car; it sounded pretty good. Um, Two women who really, I mean, there were others prior, like Grace Slick and Janis Joplin, but in the 70s, two women who really emerged on the scene, and that was Heart, and this is their second album. Great follow up to the Dreamboat Annie album, and I really like this cover. The gypsy, traveling gypsy tents and the clothings and all that. Uh, I thought Ann and Nancy, they really looked nice. They were hot. Okay. Uh, but beyond that, they were very talented, and they had good players in Hart. And this was a great follow up because you had Barracuda, Love Alive, um, Little Queenie, and Kick It Out were the radio songs, but everything else in between was great. The only thing is they had really bad relationships with the Mushroom Records that their first album appeared on, and uh, you know how it goes with the contracts and all that, and Mushroom Records released a album. I think it's after this one of stuff they had the right to release called Magazine, and there would have been a track called Heartless, which would have sounded great on here. But I love the non radio songs like Sylvian's song, Cry to Me, uh, Go On Cry, Dream of the Orchard, just really, really good album. No really skip over tracks. I have a lot of albums by this man, legendary Johnny Cash, and I probably have every song in this collection and other compilations. But I think this is the legend of Johnny Cash. This came out after his, I think, after his death. To I hate to use the word cash in, but let's just say demand. Okay, and it contains about I'm looking at it now. Great, great pictures. It had one picture of him giving the famous finger, but that's on the CD case. Uh, 21 songs, so very generous collection. And it was put together by Rick Rubin, who produced Johnny Cash in his later years. Um, Johnny Cash had a really good career revival in his last years when he signed to Rick Rubin's American label. That was really cool. Okay, um, don't yell at me, okay, for this one. Um, when I was a teenager, I had a teenage system. This sister, this was back in the early '70s, and she loved David Cassidy along with a lot of other teenage girls. Posters on the wall. Oh, he's such a dreamboat, and blah blah blah. And I actually like the hits. Okay, and and the show too. But I like Danny because the redhead little brother, because he was my age and he was like the sarcastic one, come up with those lines. But this is the Partridge Family's greatest hits, and I wasn't into their albums. I mean, I enjoyed the radio hits when they came on, and I actually found their first album the other week, put out by Buddha, remastered, and the whole works with some bonus tracks. And members of the Wrecking Crew was part of recording these albums, and they sound really good, for pop music of that time. Okay, back to rock and roll. This is one of uh, the Black Keys. You see, I got the price on there. Earlier albums. It's called Magic Potion. Okay, Pot. Is it potion or pot? Potion, whatever. Um, this was when they were before they really refined their sound and made it more radio friendly, which for me, there's nothing wrong with that because about that time, more recent albums is when I got into their music. So I found one of the earlier albums and I enjoyed listening to it. Okay, let's stack that up properly so it won't fall down. And we got about 4 more CDs to go. The group Madness. This is actually a 2 CD set, okay? No, 3. 24 songs, 22, and 23. So this will probably be all the madness I will ever need in my life. Of course, they had their big radio song, Our House is a very, very, now I'm singing the Cosby, Nash, Cosby, Still, Nash song, hit. Okay, the reissue of Badfinger, the 2010 reissue of Badfinger, Straight Up. This is a great freaking album, and although it has the hit, what was the hit? Okay, Day After Day. Every song on here could have been, and Baby Blue, but every song here could have been a hit. Great CD, and I got this on vinyl, and their other really good album on vinyl as well, so I had to get out on CD. This contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bonus tracks. Pretty cool. Okay, something rare. It's not too often that you see a more recent release at a thrift store that hasn't been open, particularly by an artist that's really currently hot right now, or hot when I mean popular, as far as, sales and, big name. But I got the Adele 30 unopened, still in shrink wrap. I heard it on Spotify, and I actually like this one a lot. There's one track here which she sings about motherhood and her career and all that. It's kind of a reflective song, and it's really good. It has 3 bonus tracks, so I'm looking forward to listening to Adele 30 again. I think she's a very talented singer, and I like the classic vocal stuff like that. 2 more to show. I'm so happy I found this. I paid $2.98 for it, but it's well worth it. David Bowie's The Singles, 1969 to 1993. 2 CD set. 39 songs of all his singles with a booklet. The book, I'm a little bit disappointed in the book because they don't have recording dates and other information. Basically, some pictures and lyrics. But the collection is really, really nice. You have all the singles. Space Odyssey, Changes, Oh, The Pretty Thing, Life on Mars, Ziggy Stardust, and so on, right up to his 1980s and 70s chart singles. And a group I really like, they're kind of considered a hair band. I think they kind of got trapped into that, but their music is fantastic. And I wasn't much into 80s hard rock, but I really loved Def Leppard. And this is a 2 CD collection, 17 songs, you do the math, of their best work, okay? And I've got a few of their standalone albums as well, but I really love Def Leppard. Thank you for watching this video. Now, I got a backlog of CDs, which I'm showing off on these videos, and I just did it for the stack here. And so I can go ahead and put those in the collection, okay? But I'd like to share with you, and I got much more to show. And every time I go to the thrift store, um, it's like fishing. Some days catch nothing. Other days I do okay. And uh, other days it's a feast. Okay, so I'll be doing more videos, and I'm going to do a second video of some jazz music as well. So thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, thumbs up. Consider joining my channel. If the video is a bit long, what you can do is adjust the speed to 1.5. That will speed it up without me sounding like a chipmunk, and cut maybe about 8 minutes off a 20-minute video, if that long, okay? Thank you for watching, and be looking forward to my next video, which I'm going to do right after this one. Bye-bye. Take care.